Alright guys, Treadmill Talks. Here we are, we're back. The title of this one is gonna be, most likely anyway, The Best Revenge is Success. What does that mean? That means, when a girl breaks up with you, what do you do to make her regret it later on down the line? That's what we're gonna talk about today. And why should you, and the pros and cons and all that kind of stuff. But make sure you hit that subscribe button. This channel is really taken off. I'm really impressed. I'm happy, man. I love talking about this stuff. The more you guys subscribe, the more I'll talk about it, the more pro tips I'll give you guys. Apologies for missing a few days of videos here. My cat is sick. Not sick, she had surgery, and she's recovering right now. I'm actually watching her on my phone while I record this through another camera in the house, just to make sure that she doesn't take her cone off or get into any shenanigans. Take care of your fur babies first, boys. Okay, so, you know how they say the best revenge is a plate served cold? That's basically what it is in a nutshell. Now, in order to get the mindset of improvement, you gotta go back to the original breakup and why they actually broke up with you in the first place. Now, usually speaking, a girl breaks up with you when I would say there's three main reasons why a girl breaks up with you. She doesn't see a future with you, or, well, that can mean a lot of things in itself, but she doesn't see a future with you. You moved backwards in her hypergamous brain, or you got in there too early, and she was not ready for monogamy yet, i.e. she settled down before she had the party phase. Those are the three big ones. Now, the last one there is pretty self-explanatory. If you get with a girl in like high school, I guess it depends on if she's involved in social media or not and what her friends are doing. But most likely we're talking about like Western countries. In Western countries, if you lock down a girl too soon, 20, 21, 22, or etc., 19, there's a very high probability that they will break up with you because they literally just want to experiment with other men. And no matter what you do, there's nothing you can do. Like, it doesn't matter how hypergamously optimized you are. You can't change the color of your skin. You can't change the demeanor of your personality. She wants to experiment, and that's that. Nothing you can do about that. In those circumstances, you just gotta kind of move on and don't like resent her for wanting to experiment. There's just like not much you can do about it. That's just the way women are. They gotta see what's out there, right? The best approach, if you want to actually lock down a monogamous girl, the best approach seems to be like getting a girlfriend in her 23, 24-ish, young enough to have kids and a family, but she's had like 2 or 3 or 4 sexual partners. 4 tops, ideally. And then if they got like 3 or 4 partners before you, then they kind of have the gist of it, of like what's kind of out there, or at least enough to not feel FOMO or grass is greener syndrome 10 years down the line. If you like get a virgin, I know what the studies say where like if you marry a virgin, the likelihood of the marriage of being successful is much higher. I don't know about that. My experience is anecdotal, so it's just what I've experienced and what I've seen, not so much data from every country around the world, right? I'm mainly focused on Western countries. But anyway, So that third reason there, you locked her down too fast before she got through her party phase. Don't worry about revenge on that one. The first two though, she didn't see a future with you, or you downgraded your hypergamy in her brain over time. Usually what the second one is you got fat, you got lazy, you got complacent, which is rough because, I get it, man. We all wanna chill out when it's time to get married, right? I get it. You get fat, you lose your job, you're not motivated to get promoted at work. Here's a topic for another video, actually. The main reason why it's so stressful being with a woman in a monogamous long-term relationship, when you're just dating around, it's the best. But when you actually commit to a woman, it's so much worse than being single, just for the fact that you can never chill. It's like we're almost conditioned and brainwashed from a young age to think that we're supposed to chill and relax after marriage. No, they get to chill. You just started the game on hard mode. like you just signed up for the most work of your entire life. And if you slip up once, she's out the door. That's what that is. Anyway, so let's say you did slip up and you got fat, lazy, and complacent. Okay, you have to realize that she left, and it wasn't your fault, but you can only control your actions. You can't control another person's feelings or actions, right? So they won't tell you this kind of stuff. You have to kind of wait 3 months until after the breakup, then look back and reflect objectively. This is where having bros in real life really helps. Like, your buddies, I hope you have male friends, by the way, but your male buddies, they have a much more objective view of your relationship than you do. So, like, for me personally, I've got like 3 buddies that I know are gonna get divorced, but they can't see it, but I can see it, but they can't, right? When you're in it, you're kind of in it, you can't really see it, but I know it's gonna happen. I already know why, I already know what happened, and I already know where they screwed up. I already know it all. So, but, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, right? And I've told them in the past, I'll be like, bro, you're kind of screwing this part up, and you can tell because your woman is being publicly derogatory towards, like, publicly abrasive towards you. That's a bad sign, brother. They don't want to hear it though. Not your problem. But when they do split up, I will have a list of all the things that they did wrong, and hopefully they listen to me then, right? Kind of one of those situations. But I hope you do have male friends, so that 3 months after your breakup, you go and you talk to them. You're like, bro, and you don't want like she's a bitch, it's all her fault. You want to be like, bro, did I slip up? Where did I go wrong? What was different between me when I met her versus at the end? Obviously, if you can't see your dick because you have a gut hanging over it, come on. But if you can't see those types of things, then having male friends really helps. But in that situation, though, what you do, why revenge is the best platter served cold, you go back in the gym. You get back on your grind as a man. And I do, it's funny. Both genders kind of have their issues. I would say women have the whole hypergamy thing, and men have the whole complacency thing. So the counter argument is, why does it require a breakup for a man to change or to evolve or to improve? And this is me too. Like, I'm aware of this stuff, and I'm still the same damn way, dude. Except for these last couple of breakups, I'm the same before and after. I think I've evolved past that paradigm finally. I literally, in my late 30s, I finally figured out that I have to be the same all the time. You never let off the gym. You never let off your business. So anyway, you would imagine that's really frustrating for females too, isn't it? Like, they got with a guy, it's almost like false advertising. They got with a guy who was like in shape, you don't have to be jacked, but in shape, took care of himself, motivated, happens all the time, dude. And then a year later, it's like, he's like, oh, I finally got her, I locked her down. Now it's let off the gas and just be who I'm really supposed to be. Yeah, that's a tough one, because you really shouldn't be like that. But hey, if you're watching this video, you probably are like that, because all men are like that. And here's the other thing. All men think that their girl is the exception. Every single one, bro. They're like, oh, no. My girl wouldn't leave me. I'm like, brother, been there, right? You are not the exception. And that woman is not the exception when it comes to hypergamy. No. But in that scenario, you screwed up, you let off the gas, she left your ass because you were useless, and in that scenario, it's like, can you really blame her? The reason why she breaks up with you in that scenario is because women have a different level of existential fear that us men can't comprehend. Like if you talk to a chick, she'll tell you things like, I'm afraid to like walk down the street by myself. Like, I'm afraid to wear shorts and show like skin on my legs. Like crazy shit like that. Do you know what I'm saying? We like, they're like in fear. Like, they were born afraid. They were born into this world afraid of always being attacked. You know what I'm saying? So that's why security and feeling of protection is like number one on a woman's list. And if you're a guy dating, and it's like, what's the number one dating advice that men give to men? Just be confident, bro. What are you actually doing when you're displaying confidence? You're really displaying the trait where you can get shit done and you can protect her from the world. That's what displaying confidence is. So it's like telling her brain, this man has his shit together, he can take care of me. She might not perceive it that way, but that's what that is, right? So security is number one. Security and protection, right? Now, that's a subconscious thing. That doesn't mean go on steroids and be 400 pounds of pure muscle gorilla kind of shit. That's not what that means. The feeling of security and protection is a feeling. It's how you make her feel. You have to make her feel secure and protected. Best example would be like, she's dating like Conor McGregor. like an MMA fighter. The guy's like 5'5", but if a guy that's like 6 foot tall approaches him, he wouldn't blink, would he? So she kind of knows that he's got it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not so much about the physical attributes. Anyway, you know you screwed up. You know you got to get your shit together. Now, in this scenario specifically, the best fuel for change is anger, resentment. Like, anger in itself isn't a very valuable emotion, except when it triggers you to get your shit together, right? So if you're super mad, you're really angry, you had a bad year, you were stressed out, and you were stress eating, your business was going down the toilet, and your mom got sick at the same time, all this shit that was happening to you, and your girl decided to bail when you were down. How many times does that happen? Always. When your girl bails on you when you're down, listen to this carefully. When she bails on you when you're down, you screwed up, you let off the gas, but she bailed on you. She was not a ride or die girl. She bailed on you. What you do is you take that anger, you take that resentment, and you pour it into yourself. And the only goal, even if it takes 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, your only goal is that when that girl sees you again, you're gonna be jacked, you're gonna be rich, and you're gonna have a girl 10 times hotter than her on your arm. 10 times funnier, 10 times sweeter. You are gonna make that girl feel like she made the biggest mistake of her life by leaving you when you were down. That's what you do. That is where, and then, here's the craziest paradigm shift when you actually do this. You might not want to hear this right now, but this is actually what happens. 2, 3, or 4 years after the fact, you were a weapon. She turned you into a weapon of self-improvement in all areas. When 4 or 5 years later, when you see her, you're not gonna actually feel resentment. You're gonna feel gratitude. It's like, bear with me. You're gonna feel sorry for her. Like, you're gonna feel like, oh, like, it's almost, it's such a crazy thing, dude. You're gonna be like, I settled for that. Like, you're gonna be like, what was I doing? Do you know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna be like, my entire life improved 10x because this girl left me when I was down. And it's kind of like she did me a favor, because if she didn't do that, I wouldn't be where I am today with the girl I'm with. Does that make sense? And then you're like, thank you for dodging this. Thank you for being the bullet, and you dodged yourself. And then you just show immense gratitude towards that girl. You're like, oh my God. Bye. Like you're not laughing at her. You're not laughing at her, but it's like, it's nice to know that you were right at the end. You know what I'm saying? Like, she, after the breakup, she gains like 500 pounds. She like gets into alcohol, drugs. Her life is over. Fucking miserable. You're just like, yeah. It's like, all that anger is kind of gone. Like the anger kind of vanishes. And then here's the critical thing. When the anger vanishes, that anger and that resentment was your fuel for self-improvement that entire time. When the actual fuel, that fuel source will run out. It will. And then the next fuel source that you get, and hopefully this one keeps you in line for the rest of your life, the next fuel source is, I never want that to happen to me again. I will never let that happen to me again. I will never, ever show weakness or be down ever again in front of a woman. Ever. I won't do it. Here's the side benefit of that. The side benefit sorry, I'm doing the steps are a bit faster today. The side benefit of that is you will actually act differently in your relationship because you know you are never gonna let yourself go again. And you know the girl that you're with now will never do better than you. Therefore, you can act in a certain demeanor that keeps the women in line and satisfies their hypergamous brain. And let's say you're a man who's at the top of his game in every area. And then you remember that first example where you just kind of get with a girl too early? That can happen again, right? Like, let's say you get with a 20-year-old and she love bombs you and you fall for it, whatever, right? But you still know that you're never gonna let yourself go ever again. When she inevitably wants to do a party phase, she's gonna leave you, but you know that one has nothing to do with you though. She just wants to go have some dick, right? But you also know that you can just get back on the bandwagon and jump onto the next girl because you're on top of your game. And then what's gonna happen is that girl who is going through her party phase will come back. They always come back. Because it's in that scenario, it's not like you weren't the best that she could do. It's that she didn't know you were the best that she could do because she didn't go through her party phase yet. So so that's kind of the problem with younger women in general. If you're like a top G and you date a younger girl, she it's almost like they have to have a party phase in order to know where her brain should rank you in her mind. And then she dates 2 or 3 other guys and she comes right back. She's like, I made a huge mistake. And if it's a girl, okay, there's 2 different scenarios in that one. If it's a girl in her 20s, early 20s, and she does that, I think that's more forgivable because she didn't know better. Like, she truly just didn't know better, right? And society is telling her to do it. And younger women are kind of dumb that way too, though. They don't know what the hell they have. If it's a girl in her late 20s or early 30s, that's unacceptable by that point. So that's a different paradigm. That's not social media and brainwashing. That's that 30-year-old woman settled for you initially, then she thought she could get a better option, or there was another Chad out there dangling the carrot. She went for him, that didn't work out, and she's coming back to you. That is not the same thing. that is her settling for a man that she will never respect for her entire life. The first one is she needs to learn. The first example is the girl doesn't know how to respect a man. The next one is she will never respect you. Does that make sense? Two different paradigms there. But anyway. So when the younger girl keeps coming back to you, so here's kind of how the rotation starts to build. This is kind of how we're gonna wrap this all. This is kind of the point of this whole video. You're in your early 20s, possibly late teenager, like 10s, for example. You're 25 now, 26. The girl, your high school sweetheart, crushes you, okay? You're crushed. You go on your villain arc, and you are a weapon of self-improvement. Gym, money, muscles, social skills. You're slaying bitches left, right, and center. You're a weapon, okay? You hit your 30s, and then as you're dating multiple women at the top of your game, you're going to get a lot of women that kind of bounce in and out of your life over time. And then what that does is every time, this is assuming you're not ready to settle down yet, right? You let them know, hey, I'm not looking to settle down yet. They want to settle down, they bounce out. They realize that so it's so funny. This is how like the whole hypergamy thing happens. So the girl kind of leaves because she wants a husband and kids and she wants to settle down. But you're the alpha widow. And she's like, the other guy is the guy that she will never respect in her entire life. And you're just like, you're not caging the door shut. Like a bird, if the door is open, a bird won't fly away. You're like, the door is open, come and go as you please, right? They're gonna try another guy. They're gonna go on a few. They're not even gonna sleep with him. They're gonna go on a few dates with the other men while sleeping with you. They're gonna be so turned off by how beta 99% of men are, and that you just added another girl to your rotation, and she can't go anywhere. Like where's she gonna go? Her two options are you, the weapon, or B, a guy that stutters when he talks to her and buys her flowers on the first date, and then gets mad at her when she doesn't text him back fast enough. Like, that's the competition. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So then you just keep accumulating a constant rotation of these girls that come in and out, and pretty much you're set for life then. And that's how that works. So, to wrap this up, if you get your heart broken, and that's why the revenge platter is best served cold, right? So even if your ex does want to come back 5 years down the line, she doesn't get you back. She gets a piece of the rotation now. That's what you do. Oh, do not fall back into old habits. That's number one, but we'll save that for another video. But you're like, oh, you want to spend time with me again? I got time Friday at 8 p.m. And then you're out by 11, latest. Trust me, brother. One of the best feelings you can ever have as a man is doing that shit. Trust me, bro. Trust me. All right, guys. Subscribe if you like this content. And I'm just like so high thinking about this shit right now, dude. It's so good. Do it. Become the weapon. Become the weapon. Subscribe. Share the video with your friends if you thought it was valuable. And I'll see you guys in the next one.